Hi, my name is Jake Kennedy and I'm both a soundy, an artist, a writer and an emerging producer and creator. In my freelance career to date, I've worked in many very technically orientated roles such as digital marketing, online sales, social media management, photography, web design and web content production, as well as operating on events, crewing as an AV technician, always looking to bring out the creative brief where applicable. But my story is more about my efforts in my home studio, of which there have been several. Over the years, I've spent considerable time and effort making music, both acoustic and electronic. I've scored a handful of short films, as well as been sound recordist and often boom on location recordings, and I've done a few post-production and sound design projects as well. One for which I received an award for Best Sound Design at a local film festival, Made in the West, back in 2017. Over the past few years, I've also tried my hand at recording techniques, recording anything and everything, exploring world-building sound design in and out of the box. But my focus today is on writing and recording voiceover, actors, friends, and even presenting myself, which is something I want to do more of. My material being from narrative to promotional, suiting mediums from niche podcasts to commercial radio advertising to Audible's ASX service, even to shared platform social streaming services. Now a bit about myself. Where do I even start? I was given up as a baby in Korea at birth and was adopted by an Australian couple and brought to live in Erskineville all before my first birthday. While I mostly think I wouldn't change this for the world, it took some time and experience to understand and embrace my identity and how others saw me, often leading me to question the roles of nature and nurture and never quite getting racism or ignorance. I'm not a prejudiced man. Difference and diversity can bring so much joy and knowledge with them that it in turn turns into strength and unity for the greater community. I went to a well-respected private boys' high school where tests showed I was in the top 10% and enjoyed a part-time job at Palace Cinemas, Norton Street. A boon for my formative years. Glory be to Australian films of the early 2000s. What a golden era that was. It must be known that around this time I started to get my hands on DVDs and the miracle that is special features, BTS and the Holy Grail itself, director's commentaries, were discovered and coveted. My path towards media and story were forged. I knew I wanted to be a creator. It was at this point my mum told me about a place called Afters at Macquarie Uni, its reputation preceding itself, and the dream to attend Afters was real from that day forward. But life is an adventure, a conflicting journey of ups and downs, truths and lies that threaten to overwhelm. And in my late teens, early 20s, I developed schizophrenia and was additionally diagnosed with ADHD, anxiety and depression. Two decades of psychiatrist and psychologist appointments, worthwhile treatments, and sometimes painful medications. Life really is like being on a roller coaster sometimes. Later on reflection, I noticed I had trouble getting a handle on it all. The learning curve was steep. But just as one hand gives while the other takes, doors close and windows open, it turns out at the time to be as rewarding a disability as I could get. At least how some rare instances of psychosis presented in me, throwing me in the deep ender of wonder and enchantment, immersing me in fantastical, mythic, otherworldly, magical, sci-fi adventures and rigmaroles, causing me to live through experiences that most only know as fiction and myth. In turn, causing me to ponder studiously how different devices and tropes could and would be interpreted differently by different parties, both from outside and within, internal and external, keeping in mind how key moments cause emotional impact and set up expectations for those around me, and what motivated me to act selflessly. Indeed, what did I perceive? What did all the stories and fantastical delusions mean, and where were they going to get me? Luckily for me, it feels like this was all the point. It was around this time I became extremely unwell and spent way too long forced into involuntary psychiatric care, locked in facilities that can only be described as disgusting, gross and underfunded. I took to the streets with my fellow brothers and sisters, every single one a fascinating character, and saw a very different part of society than what I was used to, and experienced a part of Australia that I didn't even know existed. It was around this time I was arrested for being a hothead. Delusionally, I confronted a gang of criminals and attempted to help get a friend safely away from them, but only managed to get myself stabbed in the stomach and my left kneecap half cut out, not to mention getting a knife in the nose then pulled out and a thrust towards the heart. Luckily, the blade bounced off my breastbone. I was rushed to hospital and spent months recovering. The upside being I was put on the right dosage of a new medication, allowing me to return to my usual self with no overt symptoms at all, letting me return to work freelancing and to my passion for media content creation and production. Additionally, long-held interests of mine are also in computer programming, science and technology, world affairs, cybersecurity, military and defense matters and capabilities, the history of various wars, as well as a keen enthusiasm in the national intelligence community, practicing open source intel analysis and studying cryptography. While I certainly don't believe everything on the internet, I am fascinated by a lot of conspiracy theories. One thing about me is I don't get upset by diverse opinion anymore, even if conflicting with my own. I hear it out patiently, even enthusiastically, and consider it with the respect it's due. Long ago, I figured out that you've got to be a realist before you can be an effectual idealist. When doing anything worthwhile, such as my research and planning, I always gather data, perform analysis, and set targets, always constantly reassessing these three pillars against each other. And this has become my go-to algorithm, which it's then possible to map my dreams. I start by collecting data and setting targets, and then by breaking them down into plans, which need to become logical actions that are also reasonable steps towards achieving my SWOT goals of what studying and learning could become. It always requires need and application, and this hopefully improves my chances of employment and success. Lately, I've been working on an audible narrative project. I've been contemplating perspective and experimenting with the preconceived notions of format, that how the story is performed and delivered to the audience listener affected my goal of being able to blend what I like about character-driven audiobooks. A format that delivers an emotional story by being in everyone's heads with the showy excitement and gripping entertainment of a radio play, complete with multiple actors, sound design, and music. By experimenting with my writing's perspective, taking into account the effects of first, second, third person, omnipresent points of view and the like on voice characters and narration. Hopefully by adjusting this, I hope to shore up both format shortcomings while considering and maintaining the fourth wall. At least that's what I'm working on as I write this project better. I'm also working on my presenting and public speaking, and I enjoy performing when the mood is right. I believe my diverse range of life experiences greatly equips me for successes in my chosen field, for not only did I wring every little bit of wisdom and compassion I could from my circumstances, but from these personal experiences I know I am stronger for it, with way more empathy and insight into the human condition than I would have guessed possible when I first found my path. I know who I am and what. Analyze the source. Know the condition of man and men. Listen to the stories. Know the characters by heart. Don't listen to bias, but understand where it comes from and why it's present. What's relevant? What should be prioritized? A difference of priorities, I believe, is the cause for all conflict and is very important in social interaction. What are your priorities in any given moment of time, and how do they affect your thoughts, behavior, and actions? Don't let bigotry in or thrive. Never accept ignorance. Be vigilant, be smart, never be complacent. Why denounce other people's lives and waves? Let others be as they wish to be, but draw the line at causation of pains and never hurt others. Follow the path of least resistance for the greatest good. Always in peace and conflict, respect your fellow man. We are all part of humanity and life. The tapestry of time is weaved. All are brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers, sons and daughters, friends and mates. If we lose ourselves to wrong, to evil, to fear and ignorance, we get stupid knee-jerk reactions that are not properly formed thoughts. Never lose what makes us us or cross those lines, or it was all for naught. Changes and change are inevitable. It's always a new, fresh, present moment of time perceived. New time, the present moment. Our perceived time is the present. Always it exists, flowing on into the present moment. It's always the present moment in time to our perceptions. In fact, the experience tells of newly stacking moments, and then our reality is defined by our personality, beliefs, values, and which are largely perceptions. Past means experienced existing moments, and new. It may feel unrelenting, daunting, and sometimes confronting. Having anxiety in some occurrences may cause negative social interactions, but in and of itself, I believe change is a great accomplishment, if the change is for the better, moving us all forward and ahead in advances that could only be described as miraculous just a few short years ago. Such advancements in power, tools, enhanced capabilities give new opportunities for people. Isolation or broadened access to culture, subculture, and growth of identity. The need now more than ever to come together and work as a whole towards a greater goal for all. We should all know respect is learnt and earned, lost and gained, and should be freely given till ever unfortunately lost, then hopefully regained, with love and sharing. But know this about me. I know and believe rights aren't just given, presented, or bestowed. They are owed by heroes, they are owed by history, and they are owed to everyone and all. I truly believe in a better future for all, and for everyone that believes in love over hate, good over evil, and knowledge over ignorance, I salute you as a good child of faith. You are what makes us as a whole work. We will always move towards bettering ourselves, our community, our society, our country, our world, for we are all humanity. For all our shortcomings, failings, fallibilities, vices, ignorances, and laziness, we are all greatly unique, special, and I believe greatly worthy of respect. For who else goes about life as we do, cherishing the good times, loving family and friends, all the while having to deal with untold countless issues that are a part of everyone's daily life. Without fear, bravery wouldn't exist, and without death, life wouldn't be as grand a journey, as adventure as it is. Never stop thinking, never stop learning, never stop trying, don't get stuck, advance forward, always grow. Be focused, be dedicated, get up faster every time. Let them see your pain, let them see your triumph regardless. Never give up, always back yourself, always have faith, be smart, be prepared, and have plans for anything and everything. Believe every moment is life and should be cherished. Always face your fears, get used to them by overcoming them. Know, believe, and accept that jealousy, hate, and fear are for the weak and broken, downtrodden, and poorly treated. Help as much and as many as you can, always remembering to keep protecting and looking after yourself, and believing good over evil. Play the long game as well as the short. Know yourself, know your failings, respect all as you can, grow and cultivate a smarter, more prepared, disciplined mind that's adaptable, strong, and hearty, and experienced. Know what you're worth. And as a great instructor once told me, never let your head get so far up your ass you can't pull it out. Believe, know, experience, understand, and accept that self-pity doesn't look good on anyone, and that modesty, respect, love, and wisdom look good on everyone. Relevant doubt can be a savior, but unnecessary doubt will cripple what you can accomplish. Trust yourself, trust your experiences in life, trust that your whole life is worthy. See if it is going in the right direction. If you're taking active, actionable steps towards all your goals, then you're winning. Everything doesn't happen in an instant, but of course you are always in one. The present is now. Cherish it.